Welcome back to the Trading Bell. We are right here with Lilian Ndegwa, Country Director, Trademark Africa, and we're talking matters business. Do they have a part to play with SMEs? I believe they do. And before we get into that, let me remind you, Safaricom Business ensures SMEs and corporates communicate effectively, cut costs, and stay connected across teams. So Lilian, I might ask you a question here because probably a quick person here is going to jump in immediately. The place of Didi, the due diligence to ensure that this is not a scam, nothing like that. How effective is that so that someone doesn't go and start placing trades with people they don't know?
That's a really good one. And it speaks back to trust.
Yes.
I would say the ISOCO platform was an innovation to kind of be able to facilitate and make that information flow and to open up more opportunities for these cross-border traders. As we speak, we still are looking at how we can be able to scale it. The challenges around that is that how do we make sure that payments are actually made before or are seamless and protect the seller? That they are not able to first, or the buyer as well. I don't pay for something and then the good does not come. So the element of verification. Then in terms of other challenges is the logistics. So now I have received an order. How do I get my goods to cross over into the other neighboring country seamlessly? So because of that, what we have been able to do is to empower the users to see, okay, how can we build some process where I'm able to trust miner? So it's still a process that is under development, the ISOCO platform, but still has been able to unlock a lot of opportunities. It's not perfect, but at least it has been able to unlock a lot of opportunities now where women and youth are being able to sell their produce beyond their county or the area of operation.
And we must give the flowers where it's due. The work of digitizing trade is really commendable. One of the key things when I was talking to a trader is the times it used to take to clear goods and all that. But really, with these kind of systems that have come up, talking about like the ICMS and the cargo tracking, they have really helped cut the clearance times. You know, people never get enough. So the question is, are there any other solutions that you're looking at to modernize trade logistics more? Because we still can't wait until the day things can move even faster.
That's a good one. I believe for any business person, you want your goods to move as fast as possible.
Absolutely.
To cut your costs and for you to get money back into your pocket as fast as possible. So as you've mentioned, we did work on the integrated customs management system with the Kenya Revenue Authority, especially in our previous strategy. In this current year, as we speak, we are still working with the Kenya Revenue Authority, still with ICMS. As you know, it is not perfect. It has had a lot of downtime. It has experienced a few challenges. And so now we're looking at how do we resolve some of the issues that were previously faced. How do we integrate it to the single window system as well to make the import and export of goods much more seamless. So we'll be upgrading on that and building on what we had already established. Then secondly, we are already working on how do we make scanning much easier. So for example, for goods as they come into the country, KRA has to scan the container and it takes about 6 minutes for someone else to manually look through the images that have been scanned. So now we are integrating AI scanners into the scanning process, which will now reduce that scanning into about 30 seconds. So the image scanner will be able to scan it naturally and then to verify and identify which truck has illegal or illicit goods in about 30 seconds. Again, that is cutting down the time that it would take and also reducing the human intervention that would previously be there and which would add again an element of time to the whole process. Also, another innovation that we are working on is the Trade Logistic Information Portal, the TLIP. And here we are looking at how do we further build trust and integrate and allow countries to share data using blockchain. So that then, for example, if something is being moved from Uganda into Kenya and it had already been tested, and the Uganda Standards Bureau, then it does not have to go through another testing by the Kenya Standard Bureau. And using blockchain, once the Uganda side has already been able to test and has verified that the goods are good for consumption, and also trusting on the harmonized standards, we upload it into the TLIP portal, and because it's blockchain, there's no interference.
Yeah.
When it comes to Kenya, our counterparts are able to verify and say, okay, this good is good, so we don't need to take it through another process. Again, cutting on the time that it would take for goods to actually move in and out of the country. Wow. So we do have a range of different digital solutions that we're working on, but those are the three that I can highlight for now.
Okay. You know, I can't end without celebrating one more thing. Anytime I host a lady on the show who is leading such a big organization, I must celebrate them. By the way, how do you keep the balance? Because behind the scenes, you told me you're a mom.
Yes, indeed.
How do you balance this?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I once had a lady leader say that that is one of the trickiest questions that women face in terms of how do you balance it off. I would say it is not easy. You have to be quite intentional.
Yeah.
As you've shared, I am a mother. I am also a wife.
Yes.
I am also a sister and I'm a friend.
Yes.
And I'm a Kenyan. So for me, how I make sure that I ensure that there's balance is just being fully present for whatever I am supposed to be doing. In my role as the Kenya Country Director, I play my role to the best of my ability and I give it the focus that is required during the time that I'm supposed to be playing the role. And if there's, of course, need for extension, I also do that. At the same time, I do the same when it comes to my family. I try to be present and I make sure that I'm there, especially for what is very critical. It's a lot which is critical, but also just making sure that I'm there for what is critical. But that said, there are times when there's no balance, where work may take more precedence than your personal life and vice versa. And also being open to say, it is okay.
It is okay.
In the next 1 month or 2 months, I might find myself working a bit more than I would want to, but it's a season, it will pass. The next month will come and probably there'll be more balance there. So just being very, giving yourself a break and not trying to be a superstar, but understanding that life has its ebbs and flows and just being in the flow, but being very intentional to make sure that you play all these roles as you continue.
Wow. Thank you so much for those tips and we celebrate you. There you have it. That's Lilian Ndegwa, the Country Director, Trademark Africa. Very optimistic about what to see even as they midway their strategy. Just to remind you that if you're an enterprise, Safaricom Business is your friend and they got you. They have all the tools for you to grow, to scale and transform the future and even the future for your business. Thank you so much for your time. I'll leave you now with the markets.